Hey there, it's Davin Michaels, founder and CEO of 123Employee, the premier outsourcing centers in the Philippines. And I want to welcome you to this short hangout. We're going to keep it about 20 minutes. We're going to be talking about outsourcing best practices, but specifically how to outsource your marketing. And when I talk about outsourcing your marketing, we're talking about everything from lead gen to social media. And as you can see, I'm looking a little disheveled here. I haven't had a chance to shave this morning, but this is what you get to do when you live the laptop lifestyle. And I am not alone today. I'm joined by our Vice President of 123Employee, Bijal Palmer. Say hello, B.
Hey there, and today I'm coming to you from the UK at my parents' house. I just popped over for about 5, 6 days here to celebrate my mum's 70th advantage of being a global entrepreneur.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've actually been on workation for about the last 4 years. And when I talk about workation, what I mean by workation is that you are running your business, you're growing your business, but you're able to do it from all over the world. And that's pretty neat. And B, you and your family have been on a workation for the last 4 years. Where's that taken you over the last 4 years?
Wow, so we left the US October, actually almost this time 4 years ago. We went from the US, we're living in San Diego, we went to India, and from India we've traveled to Thailand a couple of times, Malaysia, Singapore, Australia, New Zealand, back to the US several times, so it's been a true global adventure.
That is pretty awesome. And Bijal, you and I both have the privilege of speaking to entrepreneurs all over the globe. We speak on stages all over the planet, and we share with people the virtues of outsourcing. And we're always asking people, what's the biggest challenge that you're facing in your business? And it always comes down to two things. And the first one is time. And let's face it, time is a precious commodity. It doesn't matter how valuable your time is. Even if your time is worth a couple $1,000s an hour, you still can't go out and buy more of it. Nobody can buy time. So really, your time is precious, and it's really important that we start treating our time like it is precious. And so when I ask people, what's your biggest challenge? First words I hear out of most people's mouths are time. And the second thing I hear is business, getting more business in the door, getting more leads. And it's both myself and Bijal's contention that if you have a ton of leads coming in the door, if you have a ton of business coming in the door, if your bank accounts are filling up with cash rapidly, then you can pretty much buy yourself out of just about any challenge you may face in your business. And today, Bijal and I are able to travel all over the globe because we've mastered this marketing thing. So we've got plenty of business coming in through the door, and so we're able to have a lot of people in place to manage the business, and therefore we get to live what we call new wealth and freedom. And so there is wealth and freedom out there, but we've coined a term which is new wealth and freedom. And that's not about waiting till one day when you're rich. It's about being rich today and enjoying your life and traveling and doing the things you want to do. And you're not retired. You're still running your business, but you're doing it all virtually from a laptop and a cell phone. And that's what we've been doing for years. We have a brick and mortar business, 3 buildings, hundreds and hundreds of employees, but we're still, even though we're responsible for the operations, the marketing, the management of the company, we're able to do it remotely, and you can too. But one of the first keys to dialing this all in is getting your marketing handled, and you want to outsource it. So, Bijal, let's jump into it.
Yeah, Dan, we're going to almost break this down into 3 components. One is understanding strategy. 2 is implementing strategy, so actually the marketing process. And the third is the very fundamental thing is that when you work with virtual employees, it's important to understand that they're not consultants, they're implementers. And we work with a lot of consultants, even though we are really good at the marketing stuff. We always are working with the best guys in the industry, so we're able to dilute that information down and implement it for ourselves. We find out what's working, and then we share that during our events. So Darren, can you share more about the importance of understanding strategy, and where do you go to actually create strategy?
Sure. Well, there's a misconception. A lot of people look to hire a virtual assistant, and they think that virtual assistant is going to be their strategy. And I have to tell you, the reality is that's not the case. Virtual assistants are task executors. So don't feel totally discouraged here, because a task executor, a virtual assistant, can eventually take a strategic role in your business, but that has to be grown over time. You have to invest in that person. Now, you want to go outside to find strategists, but strategists can exist in a lot of different ways. So, of course, you can go out there and find a marketing strategist, or you can find a social media strategist, or what have you. But a great shortcut for that also is there are a myriad, a ton of trainings out there. And could you buy a training, which you could, of course, and let's think about it. If you bought a training today, how is it most likely going to be delivered to you? Well, probably not in a hard format, probably in a virtual format. So you probably get a URL and a username and password. And could you then give the username and password to your virtual assistant and say, hey, learn this and implement it? Now, you absolutely could. Now, I want to caution you, you don't want to take a blind eye. What I suggest you do is that you watch those trainings as well in your spare time, but have your virtual assistant dig into it right away and start doing the work. It's important that you do the trainings as well, though, so that you have an understanding, because how can you manage if you don't really understand the process? You know, when it comes to training, there's really a few great ways to train. Here are some of the best practices for training. One is you can have manuals, right? But manuals take time to create, and I know entrepreneurs, the one thing they don't have is time. So what's even better is using videos, screen capture videos. And the way to do that is, if you're a Windows user, just pick up a copy of Camtasia, and you can get a 30-day fully functional trial absolutely free. And with Camtasia, you just open it up, and you open up the different software apps that you're using, and you have a headset on, and you talk it through, and it records all of those actions, and then you just send those videos to your virtual assistant. Now, this serves a couple of purposes. Of course, now it's a training system for your VA, but let's say that you lose somebody. Now, at 123Employee, we have a pretty low attrition rate, so the odds of you losing somebody are pretty unlikely, but over the long time horizon, you could lose people. And if you lose people and you have videos in place, then you have a training in place, and you have a project manager at 123Employee, so it's easy to scale, and it's easy to replace somebody. You just simply, use the trainings. Now, what's even better than that, of course, is just having the trainings already made. And any program you buy is generally these days going to have video training. So you literally give the training over to your virtual assistant, and now they have a roadmap. Because once again, I want to just reiterate that your virtual assistant, they're great at following directions, but don't think of them as a high-level strategist, because that would be incorrect.
Awesome. All right. Well, that moves us on to the second part of the conversation, which is the actual marketing process. So we kind of created this acronym a while back, MACEM. We call it Make and Buy. And I'll give you the nutshell, and then Darren, you can kind of add to it. So M is understanding the A stands for attracting those people to your site. The C is what we call to capture the information. The E stands for enrolling, so enrolling your prospect or the traffic into making a buying decision. And finally, M stands for monetizing that tried version. And what this leads into is understanding the marketing funnel. Davin, you are the of marketing funnels. Your marketing funnels. But when it comes to really understanding the how to make it work and why it's so crucial to business success, it doesn't matter what your business is. You've really mastered this art, and I know you've invested a lot of your time in fine-tuning the science of a marketing funnel. Can you kind of share with us what are some of the key components of a marketing funnel and why it's so critical that before you even go and hire people to drive traffic to your site, if you don't have this component in place, you could be wasting a lot of time and money?
Absolutely. Well, let's talk about a marketing funnel, because there may be some people that are watching this hangout and you may not even know what a marketing funnel is. You could think it has something to do with funnel cakes. So let's talk about what a marketing funnel is. So once you're doing your advertising, whatever push-pull marketing you're doing to get people to come to your website, your funnel is what happens the moment they come to the website. Now, if you're watching this, you're one of two people. I suppose you'd be one of three. One is you don't have a website altogether. Two is you have a website, but you have no way to capture somebody's information. Or three, you actually have an opt-in box, which you should have on your website. Because people are going to visit your website, excuse me, and the odds of them buying the first time are highly unlikely. that's just not the way people shop today. They'll look at your website, they'll get quickly distracted, and then they'll come back, or maybe they'll go shopping and look at other offers, and then they'll come back. So you need to begin a relationship with them so people know, like, and trust you, and that's when they'll purchase from you. And so the building of that relationship is your funnel. So for example, when people come in, it's sort of a wide lip in your funnel, and then they get closer and closer and closer to that buying decision. So the wide lip would be the opt-in, and we call this the initial exchange. What they're initially exchanging what you're initially exchanging with them in exchange for their email address, so you can begin the communication. So what most people have, and if you have an opt-in box on your website, it's probably for a newsletter or a bunch of emails, and this generally is not a good initial exchange. You want to have a specific initial exchange that solves one specific problem in the business. Now, the next thing is, from there, you probably have your offer, your main offer. But what I want you to know is that a smarter option would be to have a very low ticket item, maybe $7 to $10 that people could initially purchase and make an impulse buy. And we want this to happen because then we capture credit card information. And from there, the mentality changes considerably. Once somebody becomes a buyer, they're more inclined to buy more from you. As a matter of fact, your best clients are your current clients, and most people overlook those clients because they're so busy looking for new clients. But then from there, there's upsells, downsells, and a whole bunch of different things. But and of course, that's a subject of another hangout. Now, your virtual assistant can't build these funnels. It's way too sophisticated for them, but we do have a division that does this. It's called 123 Accelerator, and you can call our offices at 866-549-1296. You could ask for my assistant. Her name is LJ. Tell her you're interested in 123 Accelerator services, which is our funnel creations, and we can talk to you more about that as well and share some information. But the net result of all of this work is that most people have a core offer, just one offer. We have so many offers within our funnel that our non-core offerings make up for about 50% of our revenue that comes in the door. So you might take in, well, actually, it can even be more than that. You might take in 50 to a couple $100,000 in an offer. We'll take in $1 million. And the person that wins the game of business these days is the person that makes the most amount of money, because that's the person who can spend the most amount of money and basically outspend your competition on advertising. And that's how the real game of business works. And that's how you're able to have enough money where you have so much help that you can have a virtual business. And one of the keys is creating that funnel.
Darren, one of the things that you really excel at is, people don't actually know this, but you're a great storyteller. I've written a lot of scripts, just books, but TV shows and even movies. And actually, at the last event, I was listening to you tell one of your stories, and I realized that the reason you're able to create such wonderful funnels is because the funnel is actually a story. It's a script from the ad you start with to the final sale, and as you weave the story through the funnel, that's what takes people on his journey, And a good funnel has emotion, has story, and it leads people to creating a relationship by the time they've got to the final point. And I think that's where it's important to work with, a specialist who can help you craft this story, and then put the technology behind it to make it work at a functional level.
I never really thought of it like that, but it is totally true. You are absolutely creating a story. You're weaving a story of video and copy, and you're right. You're making money in the process. Yeah, interesting way of putting it.
Yeah. Okay. So let's recap. So we've got the strategy. We've created a high converting sales funnel, final component, which is now getting other people to really manage it for you, so you can kind of go back to what's really important in your business. So what are some of the things people need to understand or be aware of before they start to delegate or outsource their marketing?
Okay, sure. And I apologize out there. It looks like we're having some technical issues. Bijal, your video is locking up quite a bit, and your audio is a little bit, but I think people can make it out, so we're okay. So one of the biggest pitfalls when it comes to managing a virtual assistant is what we call getting too busy to manage. And it's very common. It happens all the time. Entrepreneurs just get too busy to manage. And so what will happen is they'll give their virtual assistant a task, and then they'll get busy for a week, and then they come back a week later and they're like, what, this is all you've done? And they're furious. But the reality is they just didn't give them more info. Now, if you know Filipinos, they're very eager to please, and they want to help out, and if they only have one project for a week, they're just going to sit there and keep working on that project over and over and over. And we often ask our employees, what do you like the most about your job, and what do you like the least? And what they like the least about their job is not being busy. And that's because 65% of our employees come in at midnight and work till 9:30 in the morning. That's because 65% of our clients are in the U.S. The rest is the rest of the world. So as you can imagine, if they're not busy, they're falling asleep at their desk. And sleeping on your desk is miserable. I mean, think about the last time you slept on your desk. You probably woke up and went to bed, but they don't have that luxury. They're at the office. So the reality is they want to just work hard, get their work done, have time go by quickly, and then go about their day. And so one thing you can do to make sure that doesn't happen, as a matter of fact, let's back that up. Let's just go through the whole process. So you should generally, when you first look at what tasks you're going to outsource, I would suggest creating a list. So take a sheet of paper, put a line down the middle. On the left-hand side, make a list of all the tasks that you do every day in your business. And there's probably like 1,000. There's so many different things that you can do every day in your business. But thinking about those tasks, there's only a small handful that create immediate bottom line results, just a handful. And that's what we call income generating activities, or IGAs. And so on the right hand side of this list, make a list of your IGAs, the income generating activities. We find today that entrepreneurs get very busy doing the 1,000 tasks they can do every day in their business, all the busy stuff, the minutia, but they're not getting anything done. And that's because they're not focused on the IGAs, the income generating activities. So focus on those. So then you want to take a look at those IGAs, circle everything that you think could be outsourced or delegated, and then pull back for a minute and say, okay, well, if I had 30 days to really train and do a brain dump with my team, then what tasks could I outsource, and circle those as well. And that's where you want to start. You want to first start with the tasks that are going to make you money. And that's what we call outsourcing ROI. The next thing you want to focus on things that are going to save you time, because time is the one thing you can't buy, you can't get it. And if you save time, then you can focus on two things. One, the pursuit of making more money, which is vitally important, and two, just the things that juice you and excite you, the reasons that you became an entrepreneur. I'm sure you became an entrepreneur to make more money and to have way more time freedom. But unfortunately today we find that entrepreneurs are shackled to their desks, working harder than they ever have for less than they ever have, and that's a recipe for disaster. So what you want to do is get some leverage on this.
And just in case, once you've made this list and you're not sure what you can outsource, just send us a sort of our consultants. We're happy to review a list and let you know exactly what we can help you with.
Absolutely. And we're just going to keep this sort of a light hangout. We wanted to give you the broad strokes. We will come back and do some deeper hangouts where we'll sort of delve into each of these aspects that we talked about on a more fractal level. So we'll be back for more, and we hope that you'll join us.
Yeah, I think on the next one, Dee, we're going to cover LinkedIn, Facebook, and a few other platforms, and show you exactly what you can outsource on those platforms to your virtual employee. And we're also going to share with you, I think, a very powerful business card strategy, which is basically so many people go to networking events, they collect business cards, and then they end up in the shoebox. So we're going to show you exactly what to do with those cards, and it literally, for us, it's been a multi-million-dollar strategy.
Yeah, absolutely. So we look forward to sharing all that with you. We have a ton more marketing stuff. Also, if you'd like some free stuff, simply go to 123employee.com, and we have a whole bunch of free goodies available on the site for you. Just do the initial exchange, give us your information, and we won't share your info with anybody else, but we'll give you some great stuff. Also, if you'd like to check out a copy of my New York Times best-selling book, Outsource Smart, we have some great software bonuses for you when you grab the book, and you can do it on a $1 trial. So your only risk is $1. And for more information on that, go to 123employee.com/OSS. That's Outsource Smart, OSS. 123employee.com/OSS. Grab a copy of the book. All right, until next time, this is Davin Michaels.
And Bijal.
And we want to thank you for joining us, and we'll see you on the next Hangout.
See ya.